The Stars and Stripes show is brought to you by the U.S. Embassy.
It's Cabs FM, power to engage your world. Hey, there's another voice that, the people are not used to me starting the show without you. They'll think something happened to you. Kind of the rainy season is hectic. Hey, how are you? Are you okay?
I'm fighting to be good. You can see I've got my flask of concoctions.
Please, social distance yourself away from I'm
trying, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Good girl, Wira Sente. You're a responsible citizen, okay? And today we're talking shared health, so it's very important. Thank you, so. Anyway, moving swiftly along, pun intended. Allow me to do this and we continue conversation. And of course, we're on the Stars and Stripes radio show. We got to start all over again.
The Stars and Stripes show is brought to you by the U.S. Embassy.
Well, now that we've done, let me tell you something very, very important. And this is where every Botswana needs to celebrate yourselves. I'm so proud of this particular collaborative initiative. The government of Botswana and the U.S. President's emergency plan for AIDS relief celebrate a milestone in Botswana's HIV program response at the 24th AIDS conference. The government of Botswana and the U.S. President's emergency plan for AIDS relief, otherwise known as PEPFAR, marked the end of the 24th International AIDS Conference out in Canada by sharing the monumental results of the Botswana AIDS Impact Survey. And guess what? You have to understand these numbers, 95, 95, 95, as well as 95, 98, 98. If you don't know what that means, tune into the show and we're going to discuss it. And I've got a good friend of mine. He's out here. And of course, this is an important component of today's show, talking shared health. We're speaking to Ray Emmanuel Mafoko from PEPFAR. And of course, he is the PEPFAR Dreams coordinator. Ray Mafoko, how are you?
Fine, Shift, and thank you for having me here in the studio.
Yes, it's always good to have you. How was your day? How's your day? How's the rain treating you?
Yes, the day started very well in the morning.
Very wet.
When I arrived at work, it started raining. And then I just got into my desk and work.
Funny enough, I was on my way to drop the kids off at school and then it started raining. I couldn't see. And you know when your conscience is just not sitting with you right. And I took my babies home.
Yeah, I was having a challenge of visibility.
Yeah,
even though I put the wipers on, but I was struggling to see.
Fantastic. Look, let's get straight into it. PEPFAR. Somebody doesn't know PEPFAR. Somebody does not know what the numbers 95, 95 mean, what the numbers 95, 98, 98 mean. They don't know about this milestone achievement. Walk me through what the Dreams overview. I love Dreams. I think it's a well-oiled machine, a framework, an integrated framework of producing a wholesome individual in line with health. Walk me through.
Yes, first of all, let me say that we have made tremendous achievement in terms of HIV/AIDS response in Botswana.
Absolutely.
We have expanded treatment prevention programs across all population groups. And Dreams came about as a program targeting adolescent girls and young women.
Of course.
The nomenclature Dreams itself means determined, resilient, empowered, AIDS-free, mentored and safe. Dreams.
Okay.
Basically, Dreams is a program that is comprehensive and is multi-sectoral and is aimed at preventing young people, empowering young people to prevent HIV infections.
Absolutely.
What the research have actually showed us is that the infection rate among adolescent girls and young women is very high. 4 times higher than the rest of the population. And also the BIAS 5 findings also indicated that a significant proportion of new incidence rate are found among this young women aged 10 years to 24. So basically Dreams is aimed at empowering them not only with HIV prevention services, it's also empowering them with social asset as well as economic strengthening services.
Okay. Fantastic. Look, allow me to bring in your colleague also. She's the National Dreams Coordinator, Chawa Piwa Batisani. How are you, Chawa?
I'm good, Swift. How are you this rainy day?
I want to go back home and just jump in the cover. So I like and I'll duck down duvet. So underneath
No ways. It still need to be productive.
I like that. You know what? Look, Dreams has been a powerful framework across the board. You know, I've bumped into Dreams. A lot of people in low income areas in rural Botswana have also bumped into Dreams. Let's kindly share your story on why you identify as a GBV survivor. No, sorry. Hey, order and chaos today. Can you talk about the benefits of investing in AGYW?
Thank you, Swift. AGYW, let's not term people, adolescent girls and young women.
Yes. Sorry, I've found my bearings. Don't worry.
And you were just talking about why you find us in the rural areas. Let me start off by saying this. Dreams is about empowering the young person who does not have the same opportunities as another person. Obviously, we're saying that we're looking for the most vulnerable young girls. And where are these found? In the rural areas. That is why we really go into the hard to reach areas. That is why we're also targeting, especially we want to be outside Gaborone. When you look at where we are mostly outside Gaborone. And what are the benefits? The reason being that, hey, these are the future presidents. Who knows? One of the future presidents might be coming from Dreams. And really, why young girls? It's because I think, as my colleague Mafoko has said, HIV infection, even looking at our statistics currently, the new infections are with the young person who is a girl. So it means that they're more at risk. So if we want to have an AIDS-free generation, that's where we need to be targeting. That's where we need to really be saying no more new infections. Hence, we're saying Dreams, it's for young girls who are ages between 10 and 24.
Remafoko, let me bring you back into the conversation. Let's talk about, your national footprint. Where is Dreams implemented nationwide?
Yeah, Dreams is implemented basically in 8 districts in Botswana. We have Kwening East, we have Gaborone, we have Katleng, Sorowe, we have Northeast, we have Bubirwa and Mahalape.
Okay.
Yeah, so the reason why this district was selected is because we looked into the incident rate. We found that these are the high burden district with the highest.
So it's informed by
rate.
Data.
Yes,
okay.
Especially among the adolescent girls and young women. So
okay, nice.
Basically, the focus of selecting those districts was basically on the new incident rates. Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, let's continue conversation and touch on who are some of your partnerships. I mean, you cannot work in a silo. I mean, you guys collaborated between the BW government, between communities on the ground. Just touch on some of your partners and your implementing partners. Just touch on that.
Yes, from the U.S. government perspective is that we work with CDC Botswana, Peace Corps Botswana, as well as USAID Botswana, but we also have local implementing partners. We have partners like Tebelopele. We have
nice.
Others like Bo Sentebale. We have partners like Bo Stepping Stone.
Yes.
So there are local partners that we are also working with national youth groups, because we cannot work with young girls when we not target the associations and networks. But again, moving forward, we also work with other government departments. We work with Ministry of Health. We work with National Health Promotion and AIDS Agency. We work with Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. The reason why we have this partnership is that Dreams is a very comprehensive program. First of all, we need to also make sure that girls have the opportunity to connect to the private sector in terms of economic strengthening. We also, it's not all about HIV prevention, but it's a holistic kind of a program that looks into the social assets as well as the economic strengthening. But at the same time, we have also partnership with the parents, because we have a parenting program. Because the young girl is not actually raised in isolation. It's a product of a family. It's a product of a community. We work with communities. At the same time, we also target their partners. Of course, because many people think that Dreams is all about adolescent girls and young women, but one of our target group is also their partners, because when you are screening And then you need also to extend some services. They have to go for HIV testing services. So DREAMS is about HIV prevention, and it's also about economic empowerment. And that is a well-rounded program that actually built a young girl to become resilient. This is where we are going. One area that we want to strengthen is the private sector engagement.
Absolutely.
Because you know what? The private sector can provide opportunities for young girls to get trained, to get mentorship, entrepreneurship, to start their own businesses. Actually, the private sector can tap on the young people, because those are the people who are actually future, who are very creative, industrious in terms of innovation. We're living in a digital space, and the people who are far much more robust in terms of creativity and innovation are the new generation, the adolescent girls and young women.
Absolutely. Well, if you've just joined us, welcome to the Stars and Stripes radio show, proudly brought to you by the U.S. Embassy in partnership with Gabs FM, #America in Botswana. And we're talking about shared health. Feel free to engage us on 3956962. If you've come across the DREAMS program and obviously you'd like to testify of its impact, feel free to send us a WhatsApp message on +267 3956962 or a text message on 14962. And of course, Remafoko, let's just touch on what our DREAMS core package of services, especially nationwide, because I know there's an element of mentorship in the DREAMS program, and you know it doesn't center on only health. It centers on raising a wholesome individual. Just touch on that for us, and of course, if you've just joined us, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you so much, Swift. The core package of services include HIV prevention services. We do life skills.
Oh, nice.
And then we do gender-based violence. And then we do HTS, which is HIV testing.
Okay.
And then also we have also secondary interventions.
Okay.
Now we also target their partners. And we also look into the parenting program where we empower families to provide support for adolescent girls and young women. So we have both testing services as well as health promotion, sex education, where we provide education, we empower them about methods of prevention, how they can prevent a new infection. We also have clinical services like PrEP. We normally, when they test negative, and we profile them by screening, and when we determine their vulnerability, we actually refer them according to their vulnerability factors. And when you know that someone is HIV negative and is very active sexually, and then we can provide PrEP, which is actually pre-exposure prophylaxis. It's a kind of a treatment, a pill that prevents HIV infections.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's Gabs FM, powered to engage you all, talking shared health, and of course, well done to the U.S. government and of course the BW government. This is a major achievement, but we mustn't get comfortable, right?
Never.
We must not get comfortable. We want to completely eradicate HIV and AIDS from our population. But for now, I think the collaborative effort between the American people and, of course, Botswana, it's evident that when we collaborate and work together, we can achieve a lot more. Remafoko, let me ask you this question before I cross over to Chawa. What are some of the future plans to improve the DREAMS initiative, especially dealing with adolescent girls and young women?
Thank you so much, Swift, for the question. Basically, the vision and the future plans is that we need to expand coverage of DREAMS.
Okay.
We need to increase demand and awareness of DREAMS. People should know that DREAMS is there for them. Everyone should know, because we have parents, we have friends, we have relatives, uncles. They have to know that DREAMS is there. And then we also want to expand DREAMS implementation in schools.
Yes, sir.
Through the life skills education program.
Absolutely.
Those learners who are at primary school, at junior secondary school, senior secondary school, and tertiary. Because, the education sector is the one that have a bulk of the constituents of adolescent girls and young women. So that is why our target really to expand DREAMS coverage is to go into schools. But at the same time, we are not forgetting out of school youth we're also going to focus on those who are not out of school, those who are out of school, because those are also people who are having vulnerability. They are not working. Some of them, they are moving around, places from places, looking for economic opportunities. So we are also going to make sure that we expand coverage of out of school adolescent girls and young women, as well as those who are special population. Special population, I can talk about key populations.
Absolutely.
When we talk about populations, key populations, we talk about, same sex, people who are in the same sex relationships, both women and men. We talk about, people with disability, marginalized populations, adolescent girls who are living in geographic locations where there's a high risk of infections. We have corridors, transport corridors.
Yes.
We have mining towns where there are more men than women. So we are going to be, the reason why we are going to be precise in terms of our target is that we want to close the gaps.
Absolutely.
If new infections are happening among this target population, we need to be precise in terms of our targeting and identify key areas, both geographic and social and economic, where we can close the gaps, because young people get infected because of many factors.
Absolutely.
We're also going to look into going to challenging areas, hard to reach areas.
Absolutely.
We don't want Dreams to be seen to be an urban program. Dreams is for everyone, whether you are in a city, you are in a town, you are in a village, you are in a rural area. Dreams is everyone. We want to demystify the perception that Dreams is a program for town girl. No, it's not like that. It's a program for every young Botswana woman.
Absolutely. Well, it's Gabs FM Power to engage your world. On the other side of this, I'm going to continue conversation just in 30 seconds. A community would like to, engage PEPFAR. A community saying, look, this Dreams program seems to be amazing and a robust program. How can they engage you? How can they say, look, PEPFAR, we want Dreams to come to our area? Is that a possibility?
Yes, we have platforms because we have what we call a program called SASA. This is the program that is part of Dreams that we do to mobilize communities. We connect with community leadership through different structures. We work with local government through district administration, the Khosi, Lebalaudi, and we also connect locally, the Khosi Tamomitseng. And then we also have structures. If they want Dreams to be expanded, we have to also know that we work closely with government through Ministry of Health and NAPA.
Okay. And
expansion also should be based on evidence.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
That's fair. Look, we're fast running out of time. We're approaching bottom of the hour. On the other side of this, I'm going to be speaking to the national coordinator. Chawa, you're still there, right?
Still here.
Of course. And we're just going to touch on, some issues related to gender-based violence. And we're just going to be expanding the offering in terms of what Dreams offer to you and I, and of course of our communities. But listen, the Forbes Under 30 Summit Africa returns to Botswana from the 23rd to the 26th of April. Young, innovative and entrepreneurial minds will cover at the Botswana Innovation Hub under the theme Entrepreneurial Africa with Botswana at the center. We have yet another great opportunity to tell Botswana's story through engaging, interacting and creating lasting networks with fellow youth entrepreneurs and high-profile international delegates. Attendance is strictly for those who have registered and have been selected as Botswana delegates. For more information, feel free to email elitswiti@gov.bw or mwahik@bitc.co.bw. Forbes Under 30 Summit, driving systemic change in Botswana, in business, culture and society.
Lephata la botsogo le gakolla setšhaba fa letsholo la go thibela bolwetse jwa go swa mohama le tla simolla kgwedi ya Mopitlo e le 27 go tsena ka di 30. Lorothodile le tla fiwa bana botlhe ba ba dingwaga tse 7 go ya kwa tlase. Batsadi ba rotloediwa go tlisa bana go tsaya lorothodi. Molaetsa o utlwisediwa ke lephata la botsogo le Global Polio Eradication Initiative.
Get down to Bradlow's today for massive March savings. Buy the Kensington 4-piece lounge suite at only $7,499 and save a massive $4,000. Or get the KIC 553-liter chest freezer for only $5,999 and you save $1,200. And for a good night's rest, the Restonic Magnolia 152cm base set at a low $5,499. You save $500. Great prices on top brands. Offers valid while stocks last. Bradlow's, for quality and style you can afford.
It's the midday fix, reloaded. You the best. You the best. Midday radio at its best. Best I ever had. The midday fix, reloaded.
Let's go.
The Stars and Stripes show is brought to you by the U.S. Embassy.
Well, it's Gabs FM powered to engage your world, and welcome to the second half of the Stars and Stripes show, proudly brought to you by the U.S. Embassy. And of course, we're going to be talking about what are the current Dreams priorities. You know, Dreams is a great initiative. You've achieved a lot, but what are your priorities moving forward in 2023 and beyond?
Thank you, Seth. I think right now we are really prioritizing young people who are pregnant. We are prioritizing young mothers. We are prioritizing young girls in the hard to reach areas. And we're also prioritizing the out of school that are over the age of 19. Why is that so? It's because when you look at those young people, they don't really have all the skills.
Okay.
Let's take Ngwana Okomi Yabana. They've probably, the only place they've ever gone to is Serowe. But Siro is still identified as a village. So it means that the first time they get to Diponing, Komaboneng, even Mahalape, they just get to Mahalape and they become blinded.
Yeah, culture shock.
Culture shock. So we're saying that if we're able to really look at those young people at that age, at that level, and looking at the geographic locations, we're able to empower them to be ready for deponing. You know, young mothers, we know we have a lot of young mothers who are pregnant by choice and also not by choice. By choice, you might find that, you know, it's a young mother with their boyfriend and the boyfriend goes away. And then we have young girls who are pregnant not by choice. It's because these are young people who it might be issues of incest, it might be issues of gender-based violence, it might be issues of rape. You know, so we're saying that if we're able to empower them to really accept themselves, to really build on their self-esteem, because as a young person, when you are pregnant at your age, as a teen, you know, being a teen mother, there's that stigma. But we're really saying, we're not encouraging young people to be pregnant, but we're just saying, let us be the wall that holds you when everything in your world is not going correct.
And you know, it's very evident that in rural Botswana, there's a lot of undocumented social issues that happen around our country. Totala, we focus on urban areas, but a lot happens komagaeng. And you know, that's the importance of Dreams in terms of protecting Bana ba rona in corners, like the village that you mentioned. I've never ever heard of it. Not personally, you know, and that's the power of Dreams. Look, let's talk about gender-based violence. I mean, that is part and parcel of our society, unfortunately. It's become a pandemic, for lack of a better word. What are you doing for, you know, in terms of adolescent girls and young women in line with gender-based violence?
You know what? That is one of those things that are really closest to my heart.
Okay.
Really, one of the things that we do as Dreams is that we create a safe space.
I like
so
that.
we profile our girls, meaning that as you get enrolled, we look at you and say, what are your vulnerabilities, your unique vulnerabilities? And when we look at your different vulnerabilities, those that have experienced gender-based violence are put in the same safe space. So we wouldn't put one person with a vulnerability that's not the same. Reason being that we are being conscious. And that's why the S in Dreams is actually for safe. It means that we want to create a safe environment. So within the safety environment, we're really also just reevaluating this young person and say, you have experienced gender-based violence. Are you experiencing gender-based violence now? Did you experience it in the past 6 months? Did you experience it in the past year? And we also want to understand the relation with the perpetrator. Is it a known perpetrator? Is it an unknown perpetrator? Is it somebody close by? Just so that we are able to create a safety plan with you. Because safety is really important when it comes to gender-based violence. And within young people who have experienced that, we also look at the clinical service. So we have what we call pre and post GBV care. So our partners really provide post-GBV care. And luckily for us, we've also partnered with the Botswana Gender-Based Violence Support Center, which also has a shelter, which provides accommodation to the young girls. What we're saying that if you are currently experiencing gender-based violence, we ensure that you are safe. We ensure that clinically you get all the services. Even if it's in the past 72 hours, we want to ensure that you're getting everything you need to be getting.
And through this programming, are you guys collecting data in line with what is going on the ground, which informs policy kind of on a larger level?
Yes, we do collect data because when you look at our vulnerability scales, GBV is one of our top. So our scales could be education based, could be based on just different things. But at the top of that is gender-based violence. And that's also speaks a lot to our communities.
Absolutely.
And you know what's also interesting, because some of the young people that we're really targeting are young people who are selling sex. And those experience gender-based violence each and every single day. And some are also survivors. It means that we're saying that with that, let's build you as a person. Let's build your resiliency. Let's ensure that we're giving you all the right tools to ensure that you are ready to mingle in society without society looking at you as broken, but society looking at you as built.
Look,
that is where we are at.
Fair enough. Well done. I think the Dreams program is a powerful, one thing that I like about the Dreams program, that it's informed by data. You're not shooting into a dark room. And I think that's where we need to applaud what PEPFAR is doing, what the BW government is doing, what the US government is doing. Let me ask you this question. Enrollment. Someone is listening and they feel and they want to enroll their child into this program. Number two, what are some of the challenges that you're experiencing in terms of implementing Dreams nationwide, so that we can also appreciate the other side of the coin?
In terms of enrollment, to somebody who's out listening, because for young people, it's easy. Go on our Facebook page. It's Dreams Botswana. But if you're a parent and you are in any of the districts, go into any clinic, any hospital, go into any district AIDS coordinator's office, go to any, hotline and ask about Dreams, and they will give you the contacts. It's locally, nationally, locally. You go into the district, say Dreams, and Bamolaudi in all the districts, they will point you to where we are. That's the easiest way. They will take you to where you need to be.
Man, this is an impressive 20 years of Dreams. I know was it last year or this year? Last year we are celebrating 20 years in Botswana, right?
Yes.
With PEPFAR in Botswana. And of course, that is an impressive network and framework, such a robust framework touching every corner of Botswana. And we hope it only grows, okay?
We hope so. And that's why, as government, we are the main partner.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stars and Stripes radio show, talking about shared health and the importance of understanding collaboration between the US government and the BW government. Look, where can one get more information about Dreams online? You did touch on your various footprints around Botswana, your social media handles, etc., etc.
If you go onto our Dreams Facebook page, it's Dreams Botswana Facebook page, or you go onto the National AIDS Health Promotion Agency Facebook page. And we also have a Twitter for NAPA, which is where our information hub is. Or you go into any of our partners' pages. If you go into Stepping Stones Facebook page, if you go into Humana People Facebook page, Hope Worldwide Facebook page, all the information is there. That's why we're saying also just the easiest,
Go Kotling. That simple. It's Gabs FM Power to engage your world. On the other side of this, we're speaking to a hero, an unsung hero. She is a gender-based violence survivor. And not only is she a survivor, she's taking her experience to the people. I love people who wear their scars on their sleeves as a badge of honor and go on and do much more. Look, it is also Women's Month, so we have to touch on Bob Marley. Would you believe me if I told you that this song was released 49 years ago? This one is Bob Marley, No Woman, No Cry. A lot of people don't understand this song and what it means. It's actually saying, no woman, don't cry. But because of the patois, a lot of people say they have never taken the time to understand it. And of course, that's how we introduce Phatsima Nkosi. She is a community health worker and a GBV survivor. She works for Botswana Christian Health and AIDS Intervention Program. How are you, Phatsima? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Shift, and thanks for having me.
You know, you're an unsung hero. You know, I believe in unsung heroes. I think you're a great inspiration for what you've been through. And of course, thank you so much for not only what you've been through, but sharing your story. I can imagine the psychology around going out and, you know, sharing a deep vulnerability, a vulnerable part of who you are with the nation in order to reach other women. You know, I think let's touch on your story. And what is your story? If you could give us a synopsis of what you've been through, and of course the why. Why are you doing what you're doing today?
Okay. Hello to the listeners. My name is Phatsima Nkosi. I am a GBV survivor, and I work as a community health worker.
Okay.
I've been raped 3 times.
No ways.
Yes, ways. The first time was with the thieves. There was a break-in. They raped us 4 times. He did it again and did it again and again and again.
Oh my God.
And then the second time was with the boyfriend. You know, when you say yes to a relationship, it's like you have said yes to sex. He'll come back, he'll come home drunk, and then he'll be like, you know, let's do it. And I'm like, no, I'm not in the mood. I don't want to do it. I'm like, no, you're my girlfriend. I get whatever that you want, I give it to you. So you're supposed to give it.
Yeah.
But the most horrible one was with the thieves.
Can I ask how old you were, if you don't mind me asking, with the first incident?
It was 2014. But I'm 33 right now.
Yes, Samantha, do mathematics for me on the side. Okay, no, continue.
Rape, it's a horrible thing. I don't even wish it to anyone, you know. But I thank God that it happened to me.
Wow.
Because I'm able to voice out. I'm able to help other women to say, you can do this. You can do it. I thank God that I wasn't killed that night because they wanted to kill me. But I thank God that I'm alive to actually help other girls. You know, I'm a survivor today because of healing process. I'm a survivor today because of the sense of peace in my life. I can go back to my place of pain and I'm not shaken.
But how's your mental health? You know, obviously as a woman, I mean, I don't know. I can't say that I understand the trauma related to rape. And obviously, you know, your experience of people coming into your place of safety, breaking into your house, and then obviously going on to you know, being in a relationship. Walk us through the healing journey, because, you know, a lot of our women are in marriages, in relationships where they're not reporting to the police. It's creating such trauma. I've even heard of people who have been raped in their younger age, go on and get married, and then, you know, unable to manage the marriage. Walk us through the healing journey and what it took from you.
Yeah. When it happened, I ran to my boyfriend and I told him, and he's like, I can't date someone who's been raped.
Oh Lord.
How am I gonna make out with you knowing that you've been raped? You're smelling, you disgust me. I don't want to be with you. He blocked me. And that was my best friend. He was the closest person.
Wow.
And then I hated men even my dad, my brother, everybody. I hated men because that time when I rushed to him, I thought because he's my everything, he will help me. But he closed the door. So I hated men. I was always in my corner. I isolated myself. I didn't want to do anything with men. Up until that time where I went to church, you know, because I'm looking for healing. And then the same pastor
no, man.
raped me.
Oh, Lord.
So I was at a point where I'm like, where should I go? What should I do? Because if I run to church, the church is supposed to be a place of hope, supposed to be a place
of safety.
Peace. So he did it. And he threatened me that if I ever tell anyone, he will do the most horrible thing. And I'm like, okay. I went to another pastor in Zambia. That is a father. He prayed for me. I hated God. I said, God, because 2014, it happened December 2014, 2014 June. That's where I gave my life to Christ. And I was like, God, I was there, out there at the bars drinking and nothing happened to me. But now I came to you and you allowed this to happen to me. What is this? You know, but now I understand. He allowed it to happen to me because he will never give you a test that is over your grace.
Wow.
He knew that I would do this. And Bouquet gave me an opportunity, a platform to share my story.
Wow.
We do community health. We do mobilization, house to house. We spot, we map. It gives me an opportunity to talk to the girls. You know, they voice out and their stories get to encourage me. I have my colleagues. They have their stories. It encourages me. So my healing started with prayer, connecting with God, and then counseling. You really need to go through counseling.
Absolutely.
I did more like 6 counseling, and family and friends. Man, I can't do anything without my girls.
Wow.
You know, commander. I can't do anything without these girls. And it's easy. I talk about rape. It's like, it's nothing. It didn't change me. I'm still the same person.
But
It didn't change me.
let me ask you this question. There's a parent listening. I mean, you're a daughter, you're a cousin, you're a sister. Batsadi ba rona, what would you say to parents in terms of being their children's protector? What would you say? I mean, you've gone through a very traumatic experience, and obviously we want to prevent that. You know, we want to protect Bana ba rona. What would you say to a parent listening to you and try and give them a word of advice in terms of the importance of protecting Bana ba rona? I mean, another thing that me and Samantha have spoken about is that an erection is not consent.
Yeah.
You know, an erection is not consent. There are boy children that are, you know, raped because of an erection, and their psychology doesn't allow them to go and report. You know, what would you say to that?
Let me start by saying this. When my dad heard about this story, he blamed me.
Oh, Lord.
He said to me, you were supposed to be home. Because I was at a friend's place. We were praying. It happened around 4:24, just immediately ending the prayer.
Oh, my.
So my dad said, you're supposed to be home. And my brother was, I love that. I love my brother so much. He was there for me. You know, we would talk. But what I can say to the parents, be there. Create this platform of talking to your children, because they go through a lot. Because parents are so strict, but uptight. They don't talk about sex. They don't talk about anything with their kids. Be there. I'm from a rural Komatangwane. Like my parents ba
conservative.
Ba strong. Mama this. Hey, my sister Lene was strict but accommodative. But parents, be there. Your children are going through a lot.
Let's touch on how Dreams has contributed to, you know, who you are. I mean, I'm very inspired. You are confident. You are assertive. You know, I mean, for me, I'm slightly uncomfortable speaking to you in terms of your experience and what you've gone through, just as not even a woman, just as a human being.
Yeah.
To be raped 4 times, to be raped, and two other incidents on top of that is it's, I mean, I'm lost for words. Talk to me about how Dreams has contributed to who Phatsimo is today.
Dreams helped me to gain this confidence.
Wow.
Because Dreams gave me the opportunity to share my story.
Wow.
With the girls. And I see a lot of girls changing, speaking, voicing out. Mm-hmm. Dreams has really helped me a lot because I'm able to talk about my story every day. The more I talk about it, the more I gain confidence, the more healing it comes. Mm-hmm. So Dreams, it's my world. I love Dreams. I love what I do. I can't imagine a world without Dreams. I love what I do. Every day when I wake up, I'm like, oh, if I can just meet 4 girls, 10 girls and tell them my story, then I'll be a happy person. I'm happy because of Dreams. They gave me a platform to be who I am today.
And you know, if you're listening out and you'd like to engage Phatsimo, I think the private sector, I think everybody should rally around and behind you. You know, I think there's too many Botswana who are doing great things that are not celebrated. And you know what? I'm so proud of you, like Diaka.
Thank you.
I think your story is a powerful story. I think it should be turned into books, into edutainment. I think you need to be on a lot more platforms. And I know Samantha is here, and I know me and Samantha are going to do the best that we can to profile you a lot more on our show. I mean, shout out to Dreams, shout out to the impact. What would you say in terms of your last words to a girl child who's listening, bana ba rona ba mo dikerekeng, they're in church, you know, I mean, just the church wound. We know a lot of people who go through what is called a church wound, and they, you know, you rightfully said, I do not want to hear from God. I do not want to hear from a man. I do not want to hear from my father, my brother. What would you say in closing?
I would say, if you are going through something, speak out, voice out. And choose you. Healing is not for the other person, it's for you. To be able to move on with your life. To be able to engage with other people without fearing anything. I would say to the children, choose you all the time. That's why I'm repeating it. Choose you. You are your own backup. If you want help, go for it. Don't just stay at your corner. Speak to people. You know, but choose the people that you can trust. Why am I saying this? One time I told my ex about my story, and he said to me, you've been raped. So yeah, you've been raped. So I have nothing to do with you. And then every time when we in an argument, he'll be like, you've been raped. What are you talking
your
about?
Trauma against you.
You slept with people you don't even know. It was your fault. You see. So I'm saying to the girls, it is not your fault. You didn't call it. It came, but it is not your fault. But step up and know that you still have a life. You know, rape is nothing. You know, it happened. You forgive yourself. Start by forgiving yourself first. You know, right for now, I thank God that I forgave those thieves, my ex-boyfriend, and everybody.
Look, we're fast run out of time. Unfortunately, what I'm going to do and what we're going to do off air, we're going to have you back on the show next week on the Midday Fix Reloaded. We're going to profile your experience, and we're going to talk about Dreams from your voice and how we can do a lot more. If you've listening to the show, please currently go and like the U.S. Embassy Facebook pages. We're supposed to have a little feature with Education USA, but yo, man, I'm proud of you, like Daka. That's all I can say. I'm slightly a bit emotional, but you know, I'm very, very proud of what you've done, man. I'm lost for words, and that's how we close the show. It's Gabs FM Power to engage your world. Wow, we're definitely going to get a hold of Phatsimo. We're going to have her on the show. Shout out to Dreams. Shout out to the U.S. government. Shout out to the U.S. Embassy. Shout out to PEPFAR. Shout out to the BW government. If a child is safer, then we've won the battle. Good afternoon.
The Stars and Stripes show was brought to you by the U.S. Embassy.